Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It seems like they all want peace in Ukraine. And I'm talking about Zelensky Stein, I'm talking about the Americans, Steins, I'm talking about the Russians. What's going on here? But in the meantime, they're all pumping more weapons, more sanctions, more bombardments, more destruction. What's going on? Zelensky wants peace deal in 2025. This comes from the man himself, Zelensky Stein, Volodymyr by first name. So he says that, right there, you see it? Zelensky wants peace deal in 2025. An agreement should come with security guarantees from Kiev's Western backers, the Ukrainian leader has stressed. We will discuss in this video why this is imbecilic. It's a weasel, and it's unacceptable not only for the Russians, but it's idiotic for the Ukrainians. This is the first one. The second one, Putin ready for unconditional Trump meeting, the Kremlin says. Now, you know what unconditional means, right? That means, let's meet. When we meet, I'm going to show you my 4 conditions, all right? I think that's what it is. What are the 4 conditions? The reasons why the evil Russians invaded unprovoked a sovereign independent country occupied by NATO, which is Ukraine. So let me start with the first article. Here. Ukrainian leader Zelensky has expressed his desire to secure a peace agreement with Russia within a year, but emphasized that Kiev requires strong security guarantees from Western backers as key to any deal. Let's stop here. Do you remember the Minsk Agreement 2? You remember that one? In 2015, it was Ukraine and Russia, and then was France and Germany. France and Germany were the guarantors of that agreement to be implemented by the Ukrainians. So they will be like, okay, child, we're going to make you go to the restroom and make sure you wash your hands after you use the toilet and so on. They didn't do that. That means someone else was in charge. So when this guy comes with the same thing, we want guarantors, no, you already blew it in 2015. You didn't. The guarantors that signed the Minsk Agreement 2 became international law. It was sent to the United Nations and it was ratified. It's right there. It's right there. So, no, they violated the Minsk agreements. That didn't work. Now, what do you think this means, guarantees from the Western backers? That means, I think, the Western backers will bring troops on whatever's left of Ukraine. They will leave, for now, Donbass and Crimea to the Russians. They will rearm, and wait until in Russia something happens. And then they will take over. They will take over. Why? Look what they've been doing since 1991, moving eastward towards Russia. Do you think they will stop now and say, we become gentlemen now? So let's read further. He made the remarks during an interview with Italian broadcaster Rai News 24, released on Friday. So this is what he says. And it's a big change here, and I don't think it's honest. And I'm quoting, "It is our wish to get security guarantees and to end this war this year." All right, well, I want to see the details. "We will do anything for this." All right, anything. When I was, I think, in the 2nd grade, I remember my teacher, Rada, taught us about mulțimi. He brought some wired circles, like wires, with red, green, blue, and he put them like this is one group and this is another group. All the things in this group are in this group and none of them are in this one. All of them are here. Now if the same, all the things in this group are over here and none in this one. But if you come and merge them a little bit, what's in between, those things belong to this and not like yin and yang, okay? Kind of like that. So they were trying to show in the 2nd grade. Now, when you pull them apart, you have this one independent of this one. That means everything, all the pieces in point A, in the circle A, is only in the circle A, nothing in the circle B. That means everything that you have here is available. When he says, we will do anything, that means all, everything, anything. That means selling Ukraine, using atomic bombs, committing genocide. Everything is included in that. So remember, in the second grade, we had to learn that. So remember, words have meaning. So we will do anything. Okay, so that means you will take care of Putin? Yeah, that's included in the everything. Destroying the Russians, included in everything. Leaving Donbass, included. Leaving Kiev, included. Selling the Americans, included. That's everything. So idiotic. Let's see what else this guy says. He claimed that Ukraine wants, and I'm quoting, more than anyone else, peace, restoring peace. I don't think Ukraine wants more than anyone else, because you can't measure that. How do you measure that? I love you more by saying than you. How can you measure that? Through actions. Well, as of now, you fight for other interests. So I don't think you want peace more than anyone else. Maybe the regular Ukrainians that are bombarded by the Russian military, maybe those ones, but not you, not the Ukraine. Don't lump us together, or don't lump them together. However, you can include me too. What else? Because, and this is the argument, we lose more than everyone else, especially with regard to people. Didn't you think about it in 2022 in February? Did you think about it? No. You at that point said, no, we will do whatever we want and we will destroy each and every agreement we had with the Russians. Why? Because Putin. Zelensky said, I don't like, I'm quoting, anything from the Minsk agreement. Anything. See, he doesn't like, he likes nothing from the Minsk. He said, there's nothing I like in the Minsk agreement. That means, and the guarantors were what? Arming Ukraine in the same time. So you have been, now he's telling it's because of we lose more. Now you lose more. Now you're about to lose. And the Ukrainians have been losing lives, as you say, but you didn't give a shit for 3 years. And now that you're losing, and it seems like these guys are just gonna let you go. Now you say, well, empathy. Off, okay? However, he insisted the security guarantees must come first. No, you have nothing to negotiate. You have no aces. United States of America doesn't have aces. The aces are in the Russians' hands right now. So when you say, I want, nobody cares what you want. You're done. You lost. You're in the process of losing. So it's like you're a losing team and you still try to negotiate and impose. This is what this guy has been doing the whole 3 years. Why? Because he was allowed by his jackals in the West. The mass media, the banking system, the interest behind him, and the politicians in the West. That's why he was allowed to say, well, I want this, I want this. How do you think he is dealing with the Germans? Oh, who the hell are you? You're dying in Ukraine. Without us, you will be definitely in war situation. And you impose, you tell the how do you call them, the Germans? Who are you? Who are you? It's unbelievable. But hey, he was allowed to. And I'm quoting, this is for the protection of Ukraine. No, the protection of Ukraine should have been done with the Minsk agreements. Now it's a different game. And the whole of Europe, no, this is paranoid here. This is, how do you call it, narcissistic. I am here. If I fall, everybody else is going, honey, if I leave you, you're going to be dead. You're going to be dying. What? That's a big world over there. A lot of men. If I leave you, you're going to find another one. Not as good as me. But anyway, this is a narcissistic way. If I'm quitting this job, the whole company will be going bankrupt. Bye. Again, he is the whole of Europe. Again, that's something promoted by the activists, by the media operatives, into us believing that if Ukraine falls because the Russians are crazy, they're going to move towards you. And we'll take your wife if she looks good. We're going to enslave your children, get your resources, and basically do whatever they want, like the Americans did with the Soviets after the Second World War. They divided the world. This is my Lebensraum, living space. This is your Lebensraum, living space. So however you want to take it with the Americans after the Second World War, with the Allies, they gave us, many of us, to the Soviets. And in charge of Soviet Union were not the Russians, was Stalin and others. Stalin was not Russian, by the way. So that Russia will not return again with aggression. Well, this is the way it is. You see someone who wants to destroy you, but that guy is like 5 counties away or 5 cities away. And you know one another, and he's coming over, right over. You tell him, hey, don't come over. He said, I'm not coming over. I have nothing with you. Coming over, you have a good neighbor here. no problem with the neighbor. And that guy comes over, comes, until he gets to your porch almost, with a neighbor right here. And the neighbor with the bad guy are bringing weapons and weapons and weapons. And they are saying, hey, back off, back off. And the guy says, no, it's none of your business. Okay, and that's not aggression. Now it's like you're in the street and someone approaches you, all right? Approaches you, let's say, with a knife in his hand like this, okay? He comes towards you and say, back off, back off, back off. And you either smack him or boom him, whatever you decide to do. So, and then when you react, you're the aggressive one. You are the aggressive one. That's the way I see the Ukraine war. Some people want to destroy Russia, and they use, obviously, the imbeciles in Ukraine. That's what it is. And then, so Russia doesn't return to its aggressive. What am I supposed to do? Like you're a victim of a rape. Oh, she was very aggressive. She scratched him. Please. All right, that's the first article. So I don't think now Trump will be very important for peace talks mediation. His team has already started contacts. Zelensky's time. Well, I think he already received the pink slip to get the fuck out. And we'll see if the Russians allow them to take off and go to London. That's where he's going to go. To London, New York, and he's not going to go to Tel Aviv because Tel Aviv is going to Russia today. Second coming. Putin ready for unconditional, quote-unquote, Trump meeting, the Kremlin says. The talks only require a mutual desire to resolve problems through dialogue. So we want to meet. Let's talk. Let's talk. And we're going to discuss and put things on the table and negotiate. Russian President Putin is open to direct talks with US President-elect Donald Trump. But no specific details have yet been finalized, Peskov says. Peskov, previously speaking to reports on Friday, Peskov confirmed that Putin and Trump have expressed their readiness to communicate, adding that there are no preconditions to holding a meeting between the two leaders. That's fantastic. That means equal. Exactly what the Russians wanted, but you will see if the Americans want that. They want at the table, a seat at the table, where only the United States of America is right now. And I'm quoting, President Putin has repeatedly stated his openness to contacts with international leaders, including the United States President and, in particular, Donald Trump, end quote. Peskov said, no conditions are required for this. What is required is a mutual desire and political will to conduct a dialogue, to resolve existing problems through dialogue. And this is an adult guy speaking right here. All right, so Trump readiness to solve problems through talks. We welcome this. So Moscow has recognized Trump's readiness to solve. We welcome this. Excellent, excellent. We'll see what's going on over there. I think this is going to be a temporary armistice. I don't think the Russians, they will meet if they will meet, they will communicate, and the Russians will tell the Americans, you see those 4 reasons why we invaded, unconditional and whatever, unprovoked, which is no NATO in Ukraine, as it was supposed to be since 1994, and you broke it in 2014, you broke it. Then with the NATO claims in 2008, remember the NATO summit in Bucharest, where that imbecile George W. Bush, which I think is a war criminal, he bombarded 2 countries on lie, Iraq and Afghanistan. So I think that's a war crime. Should be, shouldn't be? What do you think? If that's not a war crime, that means that this guy's doing the same thing to these guys is the same. I mean, I just invent something and punch you in the face. Is that acceptable? All right. So in 2008, George W. Bush said, one day Georgia and Ukraine will join NATO. No. He's not going to join NATO because under the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, agreed by the Americans, by the way, but they didn't give a shit, Ukraine will be a neutral country, which was broken in 2014 when these guys, with those guys, they and immediately how do they call these guys who overthrow violently an elected official in government? Traitors? All right, they were immediately recognized by the countries who love democracy and like to spread democracy. Okay, so no, the Russians will say no NATO over there. That's the first one. So the thing with guarantees from the West, Zelensky, you're just dreaming of a white Christmas. Bye-bye. Even though he's, okay. So that's not gonna go. Then denazification, all those bandera and the no militarization. The military is gonna be out, and the recognition of the Donbass and Crimea through the referenda. What else? NATO out. And probably after that, so these are the preconditions. They know it. Both sides know it. All sides know it. They just pretend they don't know about it. That's what's going to be if they meet. And the Russians will not bow down. It's going to be something. I'm not going to get out of my warm bed with the lady of the night to go outside to smack you after I told you 50 times to back off. I mean, if I already got out of the bed and I have to put my underwear on or whatever I'm putting, or maybe come like that, I mean, it's already the effort. And now I'm going to smack you that you're never going to come back. This, I see the Russians like this. They told them back off while they were at it. And then these guys were, keep quiet. Oh, you want to come over? I'm going to come and smack you. Now they smack them and say, no, let's talk. No, we're not going to talk as we talked before I got off the warm bed, if you know what I mean. It's too late now. It's too late. Zelensky, guarantors. No, that ship has sailed a long time ago. The train went. The bird flew, however you want to call it. It's not like that. And that, you're not trustworthy. Not trustworthy. The West already broke its promises, written promises. Not only the verbal promises. No 1 inch expansion, no NATO 1 inch expansion to the east. Remember James Baker in 2009-91? That was a lie. That was a big lie. And then they expanded how many times? 5 times. NATO I'm talking about. I think it was 5 times. No. And they are the hurt ones. And these guys are the imperialistic ones. Who moved towards whom? NATO towards Russia or Russia towards NATO? Russia wanted to join NATO, remember? Wanted to join NATO in 1949, right after NATO was formed, I think. The Soviet Union sent a letter to NATO Americans and said, we would like to join too. The answer was, you're crazy. Our organization is a defensive organization against you. And the Soviets said, okay, we're going to form ours. That's how it was formed. Remember the Washington Treaty, North Atlantic, blah, 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 blah. It was based on that. And the Russians, the Soviets, my bad, wanted to join. And then Putin asked, if you remember, Bill Clinton, have you thought about Russia joining NATO? And Clinton said, you're too big. Nah. Why? It can be only one at the table flicking crumbs to the rest of the world. You can't be coming here with me. It's not going to be like that. Or let's say you get China too. So it can't be. The Russia says, no. We're strong enough, big enough, influential enough. We're the same as you. I want respect. And this guy said, no, we're not going to give you respect. See you in Ukraine. Okay, see you in Ukraine. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.